We're going to be looking at the official Minnesota Vikings 2023 practice squad, and then we're going to be talking about bringing back Duke the Legend Shelley. Yes, we're going to be talking about bringing back Duke Shelley, as the Raiders did end up cutting him yesterday on NFL Cutdown Day. My name is Patrick Seaman. Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports loaded show coming up for you guys today. And make sure you guys are a part of the Vikings Now family here by hitting that subscribe button. This is the third video that we have posted for you guys today. The Vikings obviously ended up signing Myles Gaskin earlier, and then they ended up signing Kwesi about a couple hours after, and we got a video out for both of those players. So if you guys want to stay informed all around your Minnesota Vikings, hit that sub button. And the ladies is almost here. The season is almost here, ladies and gentlemen. So sub for Vikings dubs. Don't jinx this football team and hit that sub button. Let's dive into it. The Vikings practice squad is here, and we start off with Alan Ali, a rotational offensive lineman. I expected him to be back. Not a real big shocker on this one. So he's back. He's going to be on the Vikings practice squad. Then we kick at the cornerback here with C.J. Coldon coming back for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, not a big shocker on this one as well. Good to have him back. I actually think he's got a ton of he's a big potential, high ceiling, really low floor type of player in my opinion. So good to have him back in the purple and gold on the practice field. And then we kick it to the big fellas. Big old Sheldon Day. Really struggled during the Vikings preseason games. Vikings couldn't stop the run at all. I mean, a freaking collegiate football team could have came in there and ran on the Vikings during the preseason, and a big part of that was Sheldon Day. But good to have him back. You never know if an injury happens. The Harrison Phillips, Kyrus Tonga or whatever it may be. Maybe he could be a game day call-up. Wide receiver now. Luiji Jackson, the XFL legend. I would have liked him on the team just because he's got probably one of the coolest names in all of sports, in Luiji Jackson. But he's on the practice squad. And then another receiver with the last name Jackson, a two-time Vikings practice squad member, Trishton Jackson, the man out of Syracuse. I love him. I love him. I love Trishton Jackson. I think he's a tremendous player. It's just this Vikings wide receiver room is so loaded. It's got top-end talent, and it's deep as well. So maybe Trishton Jackson, hey, we just waived Jalen Reagor, so maybe Trishton Jackson could actually, find himself on this roster for a couple games this year. He had an incredible training camp, looked good in the preseason as well. So he's probably the number one guy out of all the practice squad guys that I think has the best chance to get activated on game day. But then we were actually able to bring back DeWayne McBride. That was a little nerve-wracking because obviously you take this guy in the 7th round of this year's NFL draft and, you cut him. But they were able to retain him. He's back on the practice squad. If I were him, I would be probably a little pissed off that they cut him yesterday and then they signed Myles Gaskin literally 12 hours later. So DeWayne McBride, he's back. I mean, he led all of college football in rushing yards last year and had over 7 yards per carry. So the natural talent's there. Just going to be hard for him to probably crack this running back room. More defensive linemen. TJ Smith is back. This is another big-time player for me. I'm a fan of TJ Smith. Again, this defensive line for the Vikings, I feel like they're just an injury away, especially in the interior, for a couple of these guys like TJ Smith or Sheldon Day to be game day call-ups. Another wide receiver, Thayer Thomas, super shifty. He was a UDFA this past season. He's one of those guys, you go throw on a highlight reel of him just running routes on air, he'll blow you away. Very Cole Beasley-esque. Not the greatest hands in the world compared to Cole Beasley, but Thayer Thomas, definitely a guy that I'm a big fan of, and I'm happy the Vikings were able to retain him. And Luiji Vilain, I love Luigi, man. Shout out to him. He's back. Best name, I think. I just said Luiji Jackson was the best name, but Luigi's back. Good to see the edge rusher back in the purple and gold. And then another edge rusher that I'm also a fan of, Benton Whitley. He joins the Vikings practice squad again. So good for him. Good for both those guys, being able to stay in the purple and gold. Now, 2 corners. Big-time pickups, man. This guy right here. What's up, JoeJuan? Welcome back to the purple and gold. JoeJuan Williams is back. He was a shocking cut guy for me yesterday. I thought the Vikings, they only kept 5 corners on this group. And then obviously Najee Thompson being more of a special team specialist. But JoeJuan Williams, thank God he cleared waivers and he's back for the Minnesota Vikes. 2nd-round pick from the New England Patriots, 6'2", really played well in the preseason. Doesn't offer too much special teams value, but hey, if we have an injury to Booth, Evans, who both had injuries last year, even Byron Murphy or Mekhi Blackman, he will be called up and he will be playing on Sundays, Mondays, or Thursday game for the Vikes. I promise you that. But JoeJuan Williams is probably my favorite player on this year's practice squad. But I'll ask you guys. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Who is your favorite player on the practice squad this year? My player, JoeJuan Williams, or maybe I go Lucky Jackson. But I'll stick with JoeJuan Williams. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So if YouTube, they're going to toss an ad break your way. Sit back, let it play, and answer today's pinned comment. I do also want to give a huge shout out to our sportsbook sponsor, BetUS. If you guys head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125, you will get a 25% deposit bonus. You may be saying, Patrick, what does that necessarily mean? If you put $100 into your account, BetUS will literally just give you $125 free to play, and you guys can go bet on the Vikings to win the NFC North. They're sitting at plus 270 right now, so if you put $10 on them to win the North, you will receive $27 if the Vikings do so. So head to chatsports.com/bet, use that promo code right there, chat125, and get your deposit bonus today. Let's talk about it. I'm fired up right now. Bring back Duke Shelley. Bring back the Duke, a Vikings legend from last season. I'll never forget the play he made in Buffalo in overtime. The Bills are going to win the game. It's in overtime. The Vikings they kicked a field goal on their first drive. So obviously the Bills go down and get a touchdown. That's the game. And they tried Duke Shelley, 5'9" Duke Shelley, on a fade route that Dawson knocks, and he said, get it out of here. He had a sweet pass breakup, and I guess Duke Shelley, man, he was cut by the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday. I was in shambles when the Vikings weren't able to re-sign him during the free agency period, but now you got a chance. And I'll tell you what, this cornerback room, it could use some extra help. Because, listen, you necessarily have 4 corners. Like, I know it says there's 5 names on screen right now, but Najee Thompson, like, he's a special teams guy. Like, the UDFA, like, he is a strictly special teams demon for the Minnesota Vikings. So, hey, Duke Shelley, just add another corner in there. He plays a little man-to-man, or he plays man better than he plays corner, so that fits in well with what Brian Flores likes to do. So I'm all in on bringing in Duke Shelley, one of my favorite football players in recent Vikings memory, because, hey, he was cut from the Bears last year, joins the Vikings, and honestly, he was their best corner at the end of last season, so I would bring him back. But what say you? Do you want to sign Duke Shelley? You're Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and Duke and his agent walk in. They say, hey, we want to come back to Minnesota. What do you guys say? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on if you would bring back Duke frickin' Shelley. So we got something fun planned here at the end of our Vikings show from here on out. Me and my man Chipper, we are going to be naming a random NFL player. Hey, also if you guys tuned in to one of our preseason watch parties, you guys probably remember Skull Chip pretty well. But this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be each naming a random NFL player, a current NFL player at the end of each video. And for whatever reason, if we can both land on the same guy, which is extremely unlikely, I think it would be pretty freaking funny. So we're going to count down from 3. It's going to be any NFL player. Any NFL player you can think of. We're going to count down 3, 2, 1, and we're going to let it rip. Chip, do the honors.
All right, here we go. First one, the best one. Let's get it. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Sauce Gardner.
Oh.
All right, that's honestly not too far off.
Right.
Like, 2 AFC guys. So, hey, comment down below Sauce Gardner or T. Higgins so you guys know who the real ones are on today's video. But shout out to Chip joining us today. Vikings practice squad, and we're talking about bringing back Duke Shelley, which I'm all in for. So type Sauce Gardner or T. Higgins down in the comment section so I know who all the real ones are.